Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Caleb, and today I'm going to show you guys how I make this ornate pendant right here. And the video is going to cover a lot of engraving, a little bit of stone setting, a lot of work with the jeweler's saw, and then a lot of polishing techniques as well. So if you're into that sort of thing, I hope you stick around. And just so you know what I'm working with here, this is my workbench that I do all of my jewelry work on. So I got a little pneumatic engraving unit. I use a flex shaft for all my polishing needs. You got a engraving block and a bench pen. Okay, so to get the proper dimensions cut out in the sterling silver, I first drew out a preliminary design with some aluminum foil. Here I'm just tracing out the general shape of the pendant. Alright, so now I'm just cutting out the shape. And I'm using some pretty thick 12 gauge sterling silver on this because I intend to set some stones in it later. Okay, so now I'm just going to file down the rough edges on the slender area here. Okay, so I've drawn a little leaf design at the tip there, and I'm actually going to engrave that right now. And now I'm just going to remove the areas outside of the engraving on the tip there. So now I'm going to attempt to bend over the narrow part of the pendant so it forms a bail, just like I have done with my little tinfoil model here. And for this job, I'm using a pair of scrolling tongs. And I started the project with a piece of dead soft sterling silver, so I'm not going to bother annealing it for this process because I think it's soft enough. I'm just going to use a rawhide mallet to bend it the rest of the way down. And I want the leaf part of the bale to be flush with the back of the pendant so I can solder it together. So I'm just going to give it a little bit more of a squeeze. I think that's right how I want it. And I could potentially solder this together now. Obviously I'm going to have to clamp it a little bit, but I think I can still get it done. Okay, so I've got a little flux paste added to my piece, and I'm just going to heat it up, let the flux kind of burn off, and then I'm going to apply the solder. I did forget to turn the camera on, but I do have it soldered together. So now the piece goes in the pickle for a while. So I got the bale all soldered to the main part of the pendant, and I've drawn a ornate scroll design on the piece. And before I engrave it, I'm first going to set a couple of alexandrite stones. First thing I'm going to do is center punch exactly where I want to drill the holes to put my stones. Okay, so you can see where I put the center punch marks. Now it's time to drill the holes. Okay, so the stones that I'm going to be setting in this piece are 3mm round faceted alexandrite stones, and I'm going to be using two types of burrs in this process. The first burr is a setting burr, and the second burr is a heart-shaped burr. I'm using the setting burr first because it's significantly better at cutting into the metal than the heart-shaped burr is. It's just important that I use a setting burr that is smaller than the heart-shaped burr. So that's what I'm going to start with. So here we go. Sure to use plenty of burr lube, or in this case beeswax. Now, since my stones are all 3mm, I gotta find a heart burr that is just a little bit smaller than 3mm. And it is possible to set a round faceted stone with just a heart burr, but I don't, because it's hard on your heart burrs, and the heart burrs just don't really cut that well. Okay, now I'm just going to test the fit of the alexandrite. Here's the stone. Oh, dang it. And in case you don't know how to pick up a round gemstone, you gotta pick them up upside down. Sometimes they snap in, sometimes they don't. This one didn't snap in, but that's all right. So it seems like a pretty good fit. So I just want to make sure the surface of the silver is above the girdle of the gemstone. Okay, so I've got the alexandrite sitting in the hole right now, and the girdle of the stone is below the surface of the silver. So now I can use my stone setting tools to manipulate the metal over the girdle of the stone, locking it into place. So I got my burnishing tool. And I'm basically, with the burnisher, I'm trying to push down and out. And I'm just going to keep circling around the stone until the gemstone doesn't move anymore. I've got the first one set in there. And the burnisher got away from me there. There's kind of a nasty scratch mark in there that I'll have to take out. Oh well, always seems to happen at least once, you know. So now I'm going to use a knife-edged pumice wheel to remove the scratches around the gemstone. Okay, and this is how the piece is looking right now. And as you can see, right around the perimeter of the stone, I removed most of the scratches. Now I'm going to start working on the other one. Here I'm just using that little setting burr. Let's see if this one pops in. Dang, not quite. Oh, and that actually did kind of pop in there. So that's a good fit. Now I'm just going to burnish around the perimeter of the stone until this one's set. Remember, I'm pushing down and out. And that moves the metal over the girdle of the gemstone. That locks it into place. I hope you can see that all right. And this time the stone isn't moving around a whole lot because it's a slightly better fit than the last one. It really is difficult to get them all perfect. It'll look pretty much the same in the end though. So now I've got this stone set pretty good. And now I'm just going to remove the scratches again with the pumice wheel. Okay, so I've redrawn the design in the areas that got messed up due to the polishing process. So now I'm going to start engraving. So thanks for watching part 1 of this video series. If you liked it, please stick around and watch part 2. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe, and also if you're interested in seeing more of my work or would like to purchase some of my jewelry, please click on the link below in the description. Thanks for watching.